Justin Rose just faced a disaster at the 2025 Masters, and it might have put his entire career at risk. It was set up to be a storybook ending. One putt away, one final push toward the green jacket that's always just escaped him. But when the pressure peaked, it wasn't Rose in the spotlight. It was Rory McIlroy. And once again, Justin was left standing in the shadows, heartbroken, empty-handed, and possibly out of time. The 2025 Masters delivered one of the most intense finishes in years. And Justin Rose? He was right there until the very last swing. A playoff, sudden death. One hole to decide a lifetime of chasing. And just like that, fate played its cruelest trick. According to The Guardian, Rose enhanced the drama of McIlroy's historic win by being the ultimate nearly man. It wasn't just another second-place finish. It was the most painful one of them all. This was his third runner-up at Augusta. 2015, 2010, now 2025. That's 3 green jackets that slipped through his fingers. 3 nearly moments that could have cemented his name among legends. Instead, he's now got more silver medals at the Masters than most players have top 10s. And it's not just the media talking. Fans could feel it. This wasn't just a tournament loss. It was a career moment, the kind that stings for years. Let's be clear, Justin didn't choke. He played championship-level golf. He kept pace with the best in the world. He was right there. But in this sport, being right there doesn't earn you the green jacket. It earns you scars. The most heartbreaking part? This may have been his last best shot. Rose is firing, the younger generation is flooding the field. Players like Ludvig Åberg, Sahith Theegala, and Nikolai Højgaard are making waves. The game is evolving, and so the question now becomes, was this his final shot at Augusta glory? It's the kind of storyline sports were made for. A veteran who's come so close, still grinding, still chasing, still believing, and yet time might be running out. Every legend has that moment, when the world begins to wonder, is this it? Is this the end of the road? Justin Rose just had his, right there on the 18th green of Augusta. And as McIlroy celebrated one of the greatest comeback wins in modern Masters history, Rose stood quietly in the background, dignified, yes, but absolutely gutted. This wasn't just a bad day at the office. This was a disaster that could shift the entire course of his career. And with the cameras turned off and the crowd dispersing, the real story begins. What's next for Justin Rose? Will he bounce back? Or was this the final heartbreak that closes the book on his pursuit of the green jacket? If you follow Justin Rose throughout his career, you'll know one thing. The man is composed. He's thoughtful. He doesn't break down in front of the cameras. But even the most seasoned veterans have their limits. After the playoff loss to McIlroy, Rose faced the media, and for a moment the mask slipped. Tormented? But I don't feel down. That quote from The Guardian didn't go unnoticed. It was subtle, almost poetic. But in those few words, we saw a glimpse into the internal war Rose is fighting. There was no meltdown, no rage, just a quiet, stoic kind of pain. The kind that's even harder to watch because it shows how used to this he's become. And that's the real story here. Not just that Justin Rose lost, but that he's lost like this before. And now it's starting to feel like a recurring nightmare. This wasn't his first Augusta playoff heartbreak. That honor belongs to 2017, when Sergio Garcia outdueled him on the same stage. The same green jacket on the line, the same pressure, and the same crushing disappointment. Let's rewind even further. 2015, another runner-up finish at the Masters. Multiple near misses at the PGA Championship and the Open. Time and time again, Rose has been the bridesmaid of major championships. He's been the guy who's always in the mix, always in the final pairings on Sunday, but rarely the one lifting the trophy. In fact, since his iconic win at the 2013 US Open, he hasn't captured another major title. It's been 12 years of what-ifs and almost. And the Masters? It's become the tournament that defines his career, not by triumph, but by the pain it's delivered him. There's a kind of emotional fatigue that sets in when history keeps repeating itself. And you have to wonder, how many more of these heartbreaks can he take? How many more flights back home with that empty, pit-in-your-stomach feeling? How many more great efforts and so close interviews before that inner voice says, "It's not going to happen, mate." Because let's not forget, golf is a mental game. It's brutal. It doesn't forgive. It doesn't reward consistency with sympathy. You can be in contention 100 times, and the game still won't hand you the win, especially not at Augusta. So yes, Rose says he's not down, but how long can that last? We're not talking about a player in a slump. We're talking about a champion and one of the best ball strikers of his generation, who just can't seem to break the curse of Augusta. And here's the twist that makes it all the more haunting. This might have been his best shot in years. Everything lined up. The course suited him. He was striking it pure. The putts were dropping, and even still, it wasn't enough. Which leads us to the question every fan is starting to ask, even if they don't want to say it out loud. How many more chances will Justin Rose realistically get? As the dust begins to settle from that heartbreaking playoff at Augusta, it's time to ask the question no fan really wants to ask, but one that's becoming impossible to avoid. Is Justin Rose's major winning window officially closed? Let's look at the bigger picture. Justin Rose is now 44 years old. He's spent over 2 decades on tour, earned Olympic gold, hoisted trophies around the world, and been inside the world's top 10 for years on end. A model of consistency, but the game and the tour is changing fast. While Rose continues to grind it out, there's an entirely new wave of talent tearing up the fairways and rewriting what it means to be elite. Players like Ludwig Åberg, Tom Kim, Sahith Theegala, and Nikolai Højgaard are swinging harder, putting better, and handling pressure like seasoned pros, even though most of them were still in school when Rose was winning his US Open back in 2013. Let that sink in. 2013. That was 12 years ago. That win at Marion Golf Club feels like a lifetime away. Since then, nothing in the majors, and not for lack of trying. Rose has put himself in position. Augusta, Open Championships, PGA Sundays. But every time the story ends the same way. Close, but not quite. According to Golf Digest, his loss at the 2025 Masters was his own heartache. And you could feel it. This one cut deeper. Because more than ever before, this felt like the last real shot. But the numbers don't lie. 0 majors in the last 12 years. Multiple runner-ups, countless top 10s. No wins when it matters most. In any other context, that's a solid resume. But in the pressure cooker of elite golf, especially when you've been a former world #1, people expect greatness, not just consistency. And now, time is no longer on his side. Golfers can extend their prime longer than athletes in most sports. Sure, but even in this game, father time always wins. The swing slows, the body tightens, the hunger dims, even if just a little. And when you're playing against 25-year-olds who bomb at 330 yards and make 25-footers like they're tap-ins, the margin for error disappears. So where does that leave Justin? On paper, he's still competitive, he's still making cuts, still finishing high in big tournaments. But majors? That's a different beast. And the question lingers in every media room and locker room he walks into now. Is Justin Rose still a threat to win? Or just a respected veteran hanging around? It's not easy to admit, but the game might be starting to pass him by. Not because he isn't good enough, but because everyone else is just evolving faster. That's the cruel irony of sports. You don't have to fall off. Sometimes everyone else just rises. And when you've been chasing the green jacket for this long and come this close and still walk away without it, you start wondering if that door has finally shut. So after all the heartbreak, all the near misses, and another brutal second-place finish at Augusta, what now? Most players would crumble under this kind of pressure. Most would question everything. Their swing, their team, their purpose. But Justin Rose? He's not most players. Just days after the playoff loss that stunned fans and sparked speculation, Rose made one thing crystal clear. I'll keep pushing for major glory. That was his message to the media. Simple, strong, defiant. The quote comes straight from the European Tour, and it speaks volumes. Rose isn't looking for sympathy. He isn't throwing in the towel. In fact, he's refusing to let this latest Masters heartbreak define him. And that, in a sport that eats away at your confidence like termites in a wooden house, is rare. Because let's be honest, this would break lesser men. And maybe it already has. More than he's letting on. But that statement, "I'll keep pushing," opens the door to the next chapter of Justin Rose's journey. And now all eyes are on what that chapter will actually look like. Does he still believe he can win another major? Or is he beginning to shift gears behind the scenes? Because the reality is, there's more to a golfer's legacy than just what they do with a club in their hands. Especially for someone like Rose, a cerebral player, a leader, and a fan favorite around the world. Could we see him step into coaching? Maybe mentor younger talent rising through the DP World Tour? Could he find a natural home behind the mic, with his insights and poise perfect for golf commentary? Or, and this one's gaining momentum, could he transition into a Ryder Cup leadership role, setting the tone for Europe's next generation? The whispers are already starting. Rose has long been viewed as Ryder Cup captain material, calm, experienced, and respected across both sides of the Atlantic. And with names like Luke Donald and Henrik Stenson aging out of those roles, the path is opening up, fast. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because while those paths are exciting, Rose has made it clear, he's not done competing. Not yet, and that means he'll need to keep proving he belongs, on a tour that's becoming more cutthroat by the year. The problem? The field is younger, the courses are longer, the margins for error are tighter, and the mental toll of being so close for so long is starting to pile up. How long can he keep doing this? How many more seasons can he handle the grind without the payoff? That's the tension hanging over every tournament he enters now. We're watching a man walk the tightrope between refusing to let go and slowly, inevitably, being pushed out. Do you think Justin Rose has one last major win in him? Or are we watching a quiet exit from one of golf's most dignified careers? Let us know in the comments below. And once you've done that, have a look at the video that's appearing on your screen right now.